We both know the smell of a convenience store at 4 a.m. like the backs of a lot of hands. She sells me trucker crack, mini thins, doesn't make me feel awkward about it. She can tell it's been a long drive and it's only going to get longer. Offers me a free cup of coffee, but I never touch the stuff. Besides, I'm going to need more speed than that. We notice each other's smiles immediately. It's our favorite thing for people to notice, our smiles. It's all either one of us has to offer. You can see it in the way our cheeks stretch out like arms, wanting nothing more than to say you are welcome here. She shows brittle nicotine teeth with spaces between each one. Her fingers are bony, there's no rings on them, and she'd love to get her nails done someday. One time, she had her hair fixed. They took out the grease, made it real big on top, and feathered it. She likes it like that. She'll never be fully informed on some things, just like I will never understand who really buys moon pies or those rolling, wrinkled, dried-up sausages. But then again, she's been here a lot longer than me. She's seen everything from men who grow dreadlocks out of their top lip to children who look like cigarettes. I give her my money, I wait for my change, but I feel like there's something more happening here, y'all. I feel like a warm mop bucket and dingy tiles that'll never come clean. I feel like these freezers cannot be restocked often enough. I feel like trash cans of candy wrappers with soda pop dripping down the wrong side of the plastic. I feel like everything just got computerized. I feel like she was raised to say a lot of stupid things about a color, and I feel like if I were to identify myself as gay, this conversation would stop. It's what I do. I feel. I get scared sometimes. And I drive. But in 1 minute and 48 seconds, I'm going to walk out of here with a full tank of gas, a bottle of mini thins, and a pint of milk while there's a woman trapped behind a firm I can counter somewhere in North Dakota who wants nothing more than to hear my whole story. All 72,775 miles of it. I can feel it though, y'all. She's heard more opinions and trucker small talk than Santa Claus has made kids happy. So I only find the nerve to tell her the good parts, that she's the kindest thing to happen since Burlington, Vermont, and I want to leave it at that, because men who are not smart have taken it farther, have cradled her up like a nutcracker and made her feel as warm as high school education on the dusty back road or a beer in a koozie. I feel like she's been waiting here a long time for the one who'll come two-stepping through that door on 18 wheels without making her feel like it's her job to sweep up the nutshells alone when she's done been cracked again. Who won't tempt her to suck the wedding ring off his dick, but will show her simply love. She doesn't need me or any other man, but she doesn't know that either, and I'm just hoping like crazy she doesn't think I'm the one, because the only time I'll ever see North Dakota again is in a Van Morrison song, late at night. I promise, y'all, I feel like she's 37 years old wearing 51, badly dying inside like certain kinds of dances around fires to speak through you. A forest if you weren't so taken with sparks. But she was never given those words. She has not been told she can definitely change the world. She knows some folks do, but not in convenience stores and not with lottery tickets. So I finally ask her what I've been feeling the entire time I've been standing there still getting scared like I do sometimes, really ready to drive. I ask, is this it for you? Is this all you'll ever do? Her smile collapsed. That tightly strapped in pasty skin, it went loose. Her heart felt crooked. She said, not knowing my real name, I can tell, buddy, by the mini thins and the way you drive, that we're both taken with novelty. We've both believed in mean gods. We both spend our money on things that break too easily, like people. And I can tell you think you've had it rough. So especially you should know it's what I do. I dream. I get high sometimes. And I'm gonna roll out of here one day. I just might not get to drive.
Each rhyme is a layer of skin thin. 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 Slowly, I shed my, until all you see of me is muscle and tissue, remnants of childhood scars, and although I'm right here, I am still very far from letting you see me. My bones are weak underneath this flesh. Not enough vitamin D in me. I curl my back like osteoporosis, and the ground comes into focus. Iris is the flower in my eye, a perennial. Peripheral vision's coming clearer than what's in front of me. A friend told me that's because I'm in tune with myself. And I said, what? Each rhyme is a layer of skin thin. Each rhyme is a layer of skin thin. Each rhyme is a layer of skin thin. Each rhyme is a layer of skin thin, and I peel it back. Can you see my heart? Can you see my heart? No drum machine can make a beat like that. No drum machine can make a beat like that. No drum machine can make a beat like that. No. You see, they used to call me the secret weapon, and I fired at will because no one ever guessed that I possessed lyrical skill. You see, words are my weapon if I use them right, but with the right amount of sugar and spices, I can rouse the masses with just one slice. Even when people don't want to hear me, I can get inside. So when you decide to get up on stage, you better watch what you say, renegade. 'Cause if you say one thing and do another, you'll blow your cover. Brother, sister, lover. You see, you've got me mistaken because I'm a lover, not a fighter. And I'm a poet, not a writer. I fight for love every day, and I write poems to stay sane. I fight for love every single day, and I write poems to stay sane. And no, I don't write poems to slam. I write poems to find the true gift that I am, 'cause each poem is a day in my life. Each poem is to find my faults and get them right. Right? See, I got a friend named Yolanda, and every time I see her, she tells me to write on. She says, write on. And I say, write on. Each rhyme is a layer of skin thin. 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 Each rhyme, each line, each time.
Because I am that nerd, I am that nerd, I am that nerd, I am the eternal nerd of spoken word. I am that nerd. What can I say? I spent all my rent money buying action figures on eBay. I didn't come here to chit-chat, I came here to role-play. I will smite thee with my 12-sided die. You better watch out, 'cause I'm coming at you with my nerd eye. I am rocking you like Geddy Lee. I would talk to more girls if they didn't make me want to pee myself. I'm a magical elf. You better keep your hands off my Star Wars shelf. That's right, biatch. That's an original Jawa MIP in its original plastic cape. Don't that flip your switch? Just like the switch that Han Solo hit on Boba Fett that caused him to fall into the Sarlacc pit, lest we forget. 'Cause I'm coming at you in 3D. I'm keeping it real with 2 E's, you see. 'Cause I am the master of all that I view. Because I'm so much smarter and nerdier than you. I had Stephen Hawking gawking and gasping for air. Blew his mind with my knowledge and he fell straight out his chair. I beat Matthew Broderick at war games with my Atari. I dug up Einstein's bones and made them say I'm sorry for that weak-ass theory of relativity, because MC squared equals me, see? 'Cause I'm the plastic baby Jesus in your mind's nativity. I will reprogram your mind with my Commodore 64. I'm so rich in nerd power, I make Bill Gates feel poor. I will kidnap George Lucas from Skywalker Ranch and put him in my basement until he removes Jar Jar Binks from every frame of Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones and replaces it with me. For I am the original Jedi Knight, only Yoda be older. I knocked Mork's space egg out of orbit and made it crash in Boulder. I am the one who gave Darth Vader asthma. I liquefied Alf and E.T. and drank of their plasma. For only I can unravel the mystery of the Sith. 'Cause I just knocked over the black monolith with my boner. Bet you didn't see that one coming, cause I'm like a mystical nerd shaman that never stops a drumming on your stupid minds, because I am the original Star Trek and you are Deep Space Nine. Om.
This is called Last Night in Paris. C'est bonjour. C'est au revoir. C'est s'il vous plaît, or the French will hate you. I assured my well-traveled friend that in the city of love, all I needed to speak was the language of love, which is, of course, English. And they will come around. But they did not come around. Was it the Austin bats in my jaw? The Brooklyn fuck you in my stride? The Long Beach bar breath in my fists? The Cabrini green in my desire? The mutt in my blood that sent the Foreign Legion scrambling for American poets on the radar? Oh, they are ruining everything. The American poets are stealing all our mademoiselles, pumping them with their inspiration. And now France is full of ugly babies with their crazy nipples. Oh. Yes, we are the creative, loud, and poor. But tonight we will crush the V in poverty and make it poetry. We will bleed all over this town and make you think Hemingway was a pussy for moving here. We plant a flag here tonight, and this here France land is ours, in the name of the Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Monica. All you have to do is plant a flag these days. That's why we got the moon, and all you got's Tahiti. Fine. Walk around all day like it just blew the devil, and he didn't warn you when he came hot tamales. Oh, what the? Oh, you are not the city of love. I undeclare you fuckers. I am the city of love, and we executed the mayor years ago. Eat a bag, Frenchies. Paris, I bring you 1,000 ghettos in my knuckles. I bring you capitalism in the beginning of my name. I bring you everything wrong about America, which tonight is inherently right. A brigade of light charging through your pretense. We will walk like the boss. We will love like janitors. We will drink like we were just laid off. Boats pass of tourists. The Bordeaux we drink goes down. We yell out, "Bonjour, you fucking Frenchies! Here's to Scotland!" just to throw them off. Au revoir, no s'il vous plaît. Voices in the night, 3 cans of graffiti. You know the colors, you know where the stars go.
Casey Stockton is in my class.
Casey Stockton is a whiny ass. Casey, I'll bet you've never enjoyed a woman. I'll bet you've never bathed in the stink of Saturday, Sunday sex in the summer. I'll bet you've never had a Hummer. Or drove one either. In fact, I'll bet you don't even drive. I mean, of course, you get behind the wheel and prescribe a certain procedure to the going and doing of things, but you don't drive. Well, Casey, drive. Take a second. Smell the stink. Breathe it all in. Then drive, Casey. Drive fast. Drive fast with no seatbelt. Drive fast down a secluded dirt road with your girlfriend. Then stop, get out of the car, and fuck. Fuck in the dirt, Casey. Be a man. Be an animal. And she might say to you, she might say, well, what if someone catches us? Be a man, Casey. And tell her that no one will. And then someone probably will, and then you'll be a man. Then you will understand why Adrian Lewis loved fucking Serena. Then you will understand that all these discussions, all these definitions, all these details and analysis, they're just systems. They're just systems that we prescribe for the progression like math or most short fiction, but perfection, Casey. perfection. It just is. It is function, it is purpose, it is fucking in the dirt, it is you the kid, and me not so much, and it is both of us being totally pessimistic assholes, but we are perfect, Casey. We are perfect, beautiful assholes.
Asshole, you'll suck my tobacco dick your whole life. Pale white spectra of a real dick, smoke bleeding between your lips. I'll come into your mouth forever with poison jism and black tar. With jackboots of advertisers, laws, respectability, I'll step up and force my dick into the mouths of your children. You'll watch mute, your heart cut out. For when they become dick suckers early, I've got them by the throat. You'll see them on street corners, lighting up, indifferent, blasé, dead already and dead again, without knowing, sucking that grisly dick, mine, breathing its vapors. I'll eat out their lungs, heart, and arteries, forcing them to suck me off, reach in with claw hands of profit, rip out their breasts, their life ebbing away day by day, make it illegal to suck any other kind of dick, human or leaf bud, send them to the penitentiary for sucking any other dick than mine. With my Marlboro men and Joe Camels, we'll make it seem brave to belong to the dick-sucking society, to give your life to death and dick suck. Even women, you've come a long way, baby, will suck me off openly and with relish, toxic cum oozing out their mouths. I'll stand shoulder to shoulder with the leading citizens, for the rich know there are only two kinds of people, the masters and the slaves. In the end, when my dick has been in their mouths for years and they've sucked it dry of its cancerous juices, they'll beg me on their deathbeds for one last suck on my long and terrible dick before I kill them and come into their gape holes forever.
Oh, you never apostrophize it, no, you never apostrophize it, no, you never apostrophize it, no, unless it's short for it is. Oh, you never apostrophize it, no, you never apostrophize it, no, you never apostrophize it, no, unless it's short for it is.
He says the problem with teachers is what's a kid going to learn from someone who decided that his best option in life was to become a teacher? He reminds the other dinner guests that it's true what they say about teachers, that those who can, do, and those who can't, teach. I decide to bite my tongue instead of his, and resist the urge to remind the other dinner guests that it's also true what they say about lawyers. Because we're eating, after all, and this is polite conversation. I mean, you're a teacher, Taylor. Be honest. What do you make? And I wish he hadn't done that. Asked me to be honest, because you see, I have a policy about honesty and ass-kicking, which is, if you ask for it, then I have to let you have it. You want to know what I make? I make kids work harder than they ever thought they could. I can make a C+ feel like a Congressional Medal of Honor, and I can make an A- feel like a slap in the face. How dare you waste my time with anything less than your very best? You want to know what I make? I make kids sit through 40 minutes of study hall in absolute silence. No, you may not work in groups. No, you can't ask me a question, so put your hand down. Why won't I let you go to the bathroom? Because you're bored, and you don't really have to go, do you? I make parents tremble in fear when I call home at around dinner time. Hi, this is Mr. Molly. I hope I haven't called at a bad time. I just wanted to talk to you about something that your son said today. He said, "Leave the kid alone. I still cry sometimes, don't you? And it was the noblest act of courage that I have ever seen. I make parents see their children for who they are and who they can be. You want to know what I make? I make kids question. I make them wonder. I make them criticize. I make them apologize and mean it. I make them write. And then I make them read. I make them spell definitely beautiful, definitely beautiful, definitely beautiful over and over and over again until they will never misspell either one of those words again. I make them show all their work in math, and then I make them hide it on their final drafts in English. I make them realize that if they've got it up here, then they follow what's in here. And if somebody ever tries to judge them based on what they make, they tell them to sit here. Let me break it down for you so you know what I say is true. I make a goddamn difference. Now what about you?
This poem's for anyone who's ever been unemployed. When I have no money and even less friends and know what shows are on primetime, weekends. The bright side of my new place is free cable, even though I'm unhappy. In Los Feliz, my couch is made of pins and needles in my relationships. A scuffed hardwood floor with a throw rug made from extra large grade A eggshells. The walls are covered in tennis balls and the coffee maker makes strong coffee. But my bed is a nest more appealing than flight. A night out to me is going to do the laundry, belligerently stumbling across intersections like a zombie with a heavy load on my chest and a 99-cent beer peeking from a brown paper bag like a poorly concealed silicone breast for fun. I separate the colors like a colonist, play Marco Polo with pant pockets, listening for loose change to finish the drawing. This poem is an airing out. It's a problem like bleach on blue jeans, like a mean kid with no job who's got a gang of idle hands and mad anger to manage, a tough act to clean up and 100 bones to pick in my wallet because it's empty and filled with lint. I'm walking on credit, playing race cards with a debit, spending time doing jack tonight because I can't even afford the luxury of being white. Life's a nickel bag of Bammer with no pipe, an overdrawn joint account resonated the inside of my lungs till it becomes what I write, but I don't even know what day it is. And my stomach is barking. My hunger is howling like a poem that's already been written, so it usually comes out has more woof than bite. And when it comes down to it, all I really feel like doing is eating. My appetite's so out of control that I'm thinking about dinner during lunch. My belly is a womb where my unemployment checks grow into a burgeoning waistline written from a rhetoric so rich that I'm convinced there's no reason to leave the house like an infant sucking a boob tube. This poem is for anyone who's ever felt lethargic for months, who feels like they've contracted mono for the second time, for the ones who think life is a lackluster word. This poem is a privilege half empty. When I look back on it, I'll place a dark period at the end of this chapter in my history. This is another rush hour in the hushed silence of an apartment paid for by a claim that's losing its clutch, an uninsured vehicle with a check engine eyeball glaring in its parking space, a sex drive out of gas, and a half-assed poetry riddled with semicolons. I put myself on house arrest, wearing a birthday suit with spaghetti stains, beating a heart that's sprained. The blinds are bars that shadow stripes on my skin like a detainee. I've separated myself from the world lately. Stayed in sipping insecurity, drinking Depresso espressos, but this is my coming out. My resume is an arm dangling over the toilet bowl to take a shit because I don't know my ass from my elbow, but my promise is a laundry day when all the socks match.
November 27th, 1996. The Virgin Mother appeared to me today. She was holding 2 baked potatoes with sour cream and chives. "They're delicious," she said, and she smiled, emanating a great white light. I took one from her. It was warm and inviting. I cut into it with my plastic fork and plastic knife, and I took a bite. It was, as usual, very dry. She held out the other potato to me. You try it, I said. It's dry as fuck. January 3rd, 1997. I've been sort of hesitant to mention this, but I believe that one of your employees, you must know the one I speak of, is a beaver. It's impossible to look into her face, to hear the sounds she makes, and to see the way she moves, the way she carries bits of wood, and to not feel that this is a beaver. I've not mentioned this before because, obviously, beavers are powerful creatures. February 8th, 1997. Wendy, will you not even poke me? Not even a slow poke? I wonder why you treat me so. Am I a wooden board? Am I to be thought of as a simple wooden board? Come on, just give me a slow poke. I'm not a wooden board, honey. Come on, just poke me like you used to. Just a slow poke. Look into my eyes. Are these the eyes of a wooden board? May 16th, 1997. This is to respectfully ask that you watch me pee. I have the feeling that I'm peeing wrong, and as it stands, what's to stop me? I suspect that there must be many others in this same predicament. Once one realizes how absolutely alone one is when one is alone in a restroom, one is inevitably tempted to pee in a wrong way. To create this temptation seems to me an act of remarkable malice. May 26, 1997. Penis is still sprouting in all the familiar places. Where do we go from here? Do we allow the sperm banks to employ us in their deepening bureaucracy, or do we commit ourselves to simply coming upon where we are? If we are the former, we are that which resists the sterile raping flow. If we are the latter, we are its priests, or its pinup girls, or both. May 30th, 1997. Demerol today, and lots of coffee. I feel good. The way a log in a fire sometimes looks like it must feel good, like it's gotten once and for all past its resistance to the force that means to make it submit to its own physical fact. Like it's learned how to enjoy the clean, deep hate for which all tending struggles. Like it's learned that there is a best way to go out.
When I misbehaved as a child, my parents would make me undress. And instead of spanking me, they'd simply paint my rear end red. Then place me in a black cloak, a tall black hat, shoes with buckles, and lead me down the basement stairs to the bad Pilgrim room. For my 8th birthday, I got a toy train set that my father helped assemble. My job was to hand him pieces of track and relight the cigarettes that went out in his mouth. About halfway through, I asked him where babies come from. He told me that 8 years ago today, I showed up on the doorstep in a cardboard box, and that he spent the whole afternoon putting me together. Just like this train set, and that I was probably lucky the box arrived on a Saturday. When I was little, I thought the word loin and the word lion were the same thing. I thought celibate was a kind of fish. My parents wanted me to be well-rounded, so they threw dinner plates at each other until I curled up into a little ball. I've had the wind knocked out of me, but never the hurricane. I've seen 263 rats in the past year, but never more than one at a time. It could be the same rat with a very high profile. I know what it's like to wear my liver on my sleeve. I walk into department stores looking suspicious, go up to the security guard and say, "What? What? I didn't take anything. Go ahead, frisk me, big boy." I go to the funerals of people I've never met, approach the grieving family and tell them the soul of the deceased is trapped inside my rib cage and trying to reach you. Once, I thought I found love, but then I realized I was just out of cigarettes. Some people are boring because their parents had boring sex the night they were conceived. In the year 1313, a little boy died who had the exact same scars as me.
When I grow up, I want to be tan. I want clear skin, perky 34Cs, and a washboard stomach. I want to look good in hip huggers. When I grow up, I want to drink beer in a bikini, make men's eyes pop out. I want mascara that doesn't clump and foundation that goes on evenly. I want full lips and full-bodied hair, but not a full figure. When I grow up, I want to marry a tall, dark, rich prince who lets me drive his Ferrari. I want to be a 5'7", size 6. I want all the latest fashions. I want to wear stilettos to the pool. I want to be so beautiful that nobody can deny it. When I grow up, I want to spend thousands of dollars on face masks, enzyme peels, exfoliators, astringents, cleansers, moisturizers, bath salts, bath soaks, separate lotions for your hands, fingernails, face, feet, neck, and body, and all the smells of the rainbow. Tonics, toners, conditioners, shampoos, gels, oil, sprays, mists, salves, and balms. So it takes me 2 hours to get ready, and I gotta build new shelves to keep it all. I want to shop to make myself feel better, new shoes to cure depression. I want stacks of exercise videos, appetite suppressants, diet shakes, and laxatives. I want to feel guilty every time I eat. I want to weigh myself daily. I want to have surgery to alter what my parents gave me. I want to try on 15 different outfits before I leave the house. I want to wear base, powder, rouge, eyeshadow, eyeliner, eyebrow, pencil, lip liner, lipstick, and lip gloss every single day. I want to skip wearing a helmet because it'll mess up my hair. I want to be embarrassed to sleep at a man's house because he'll see me in the morning. I want to look in the mirror 257 times a day. I want commercials to make me feel ugly. I want to have sex to boost my self-esteem. When I grow up, I want what all little girls want. To be a media-fed, capitalist, culture-driven, plastic byproduct of the American dream.
Doing the Louvre. You're a junkie just like I am. After we've dumped your husband in the Louvre's cafe to sip the steaming tea and chew on his poetry, we're off like schoolgirls, screeching in duet, dazzled by the bright, eternal gasp of ancient things. We've got no business here, homegirl and compañera. We've got no business closing our mouths around this sharp, exquisite language or savoring the sweet tongue squeeze of pastries, shining cakes, and shaved chocolates. We're of simpler stock, City and country dust, collard greens, moon pies, hopscotch, bullet holes, and basement slow dances. We are shamelessly American, rough street girls with rusty knees, the flip side of cocky Parisian wisp and slim cashmere coats the color of tobacco. Girlfriend, you and I are too much screen for this place, but you're a junkie just like I am. Too long denied access to official beauty, we walk these streets with our mouths open and faces tilted up, swallowing everything, swallowing it all, much too much scenery and sound for our thin American throats. We gawk at cathedrals with their gargoyles bleached to an eerie snarl by bright slashes of moon. Say goodbye when we mean yes. Good morning when we mean how much. Ask for bread when we need the toilet. We are amazed that no one is asking for all of this back, that we are allowed to bask in the city's light. I can still hear my mama, as plain and practical as a cast iron skillet. Child, you need to stop all that foolishness over there in some France where you don't know nothing or nobody. Ain't no black folks over there know how. But I know you, old friend, with your bright burnished tangle of hair and deep laugh, and right now these halls belong to us. There are bad girls loose in the Louvre. Girls soft as gunshots. Girls nourished and fueled by silvers, silks, and the stone gaze of Napoleon. We laugh at the smashed noses of Egyptian rulers, stare at the tiny mummified feet of a young girl, mistake Goya for Gauguin, and rub what surfaces we can, including the marbled cocks of towering deities. When we say things like, hey, I think I saw that on a postcard once, or do you know how old this thing is? How can the world help but love us? We would give Venus our arms. After 8 hours, clicking our hungry heels and snapping illicit flash photos in dark halls brimming with ancient music, we finally find the Mona Lisa. Alone. Caged and antiseptic behind that glass every woman wears, and we wonder how best to free her, knowing she's a junkie just like we are. She longs for our wild voices, our naive, accidental beauty. She's aching to ditch that frame and skip these hallowed halls with the homegirls. Mistake the obscene for the exquisite and gaze at unsolved mysteries that just for once are not her own.
My 83-year-old pops ponders why I've chosen to be gay. He'll ask, Ragan, have you ever slept with a woman? I say no. And then, as if he's figured out the great conundrum of the century, he'll exclaim, well then, how can you really know? To which I reply, Dad, have you ever slept with a guy? Oh, this little game we play is never stopping, bunny hopping, hetero cropping, biscuit sopping hours, ripped and ribbed for my pleasure. And it would be too easy to ask all of you to consider the discourse of homophobia. So instead, I implore you all to gallantly gallop into a world of heterophobia. In this world, your gay roommate asks you to butch it down. You're known as the funny straight poet, and after people find out you fornicate with members of the opposite sex, they say things like, no, I'm cool with it. I have a straight uncle. What's it like being straight? Is it like being gay, only different? Imagine straight is a term so derogatory that gay people will call each other straight and mean it as the lowest of insults, the bottom of the barrel, the harshest of blows. Imagine one day waking up and innocently turning on the television only to hear the news of a 5'5", 18-year-old straight boy in Laramie, Wyoming who was crucified on a fence. And pistol whipped, whacked, and cracked so severely his skull was literally turned into fine powder. And the last words he heard were, "You fucking straight piece of shit! You are nothing!" Through this lens, doesn't the choice to be straight sound so exotic? But the plain truth of the matter is we live in a homophobic world, and as it stands, Matthew Shepard was gay, and the last words he heard were, "You fucking faggot!" Just as I heard each day walking through the halls of high school, and it's not straight people's parents who ask them year in and year out why they're straight. It's my dad asking me, and Dad, I am so very proud I am.
That's Ragan right there.
Everybody writes about America, and everybody paints America, because from Jasper Johns to Allen Ginsberg, they're all looking for the same thing, searching for the real America, the one that lies under the costumes and the war paint, the one that lies under the Seinfeld and the Springer, under the bad porn and good Lakers basketball, and I am no exception, except that one night, late last week, I actually found it. This elusive America in the dairy case at Ralph's Fresh Fair Market, lurking beside the Jacks and Cheddars, Goudas, Swisses, Stiltons, Jarlsbergs, whole Parmesan, Ricottas, and myriad other imported domestic cheeses there! It beckoned. Suddenly, an immaculately wrapped, unbelievably bright package of American, pasteurized, processed cheese food glory. God bless this country! We pasteurized, we processed, we manipulated this cheese until it suited our American purposes. This was engineered cheese. This was the scientific method at work. Jonas Salk, Albert Einstein, Copernicus. This was smooth, no lumps when melted, very white technology at work. We're talking light bulb, phonograph, Model T, radio, internet, television, Nike Air, Reebok pump, rolled into one. And all for $2.99. I was so moved, I broke into the Pledge of Allegiance right there and then. I bought Charlton Heston's autobiography. Became a daughter of the American Revolution. Oh God, how I long to be wrapped in golden singles of American cheese, drizzled in its sodium goodness. Oh God, strip me naked and cover me head to toe in golden pre-sliced singles of this food of the gods. Cover me and put me in a sauna so the cheese will melt, and when it does, it will melt evenly of every square inch of my body. Rivulets of warm cheese will run down my face like tropical rain, caress my body with the lasting wetness of a lover's mouth. Oh God, take me. Take me and dip me like fondue into your vat of silken American cheese food products. Scoop it onto me like some sort of nacho and let it cool like a second skin. A pasteurized, processed American skin. Oh God, cheese food. I will use it for everything. For breakfast, melted on an English muffin. For lunch, in a sandwich with processed lunch meat, processed salad spread on processed white bread. For dinner, obliterating my broccoli. At bed on my toothbrush and my breath will be cheesy, American fresh. In the morning I will gargle with it and wash my face to congealed vats of the stuff I keep on my sink and smear on like Noxema. I will cook my girlfriend romantic dinners, which every course will consciously and creatively utilize and emphasize this our holiest of sacraments. And when we hit the sack, there'll be a new lubricant. Fuck KY. We have tuba Velveeta. We have a tube of Velveeta for when the going gets rough, because it's got to be the cheese. America, land of the free, it's got to be the cheese. America, home of the brave, it's got to be the cheese. America, land of possibility, land of opportunity, and of the certain, unalienable rights of manifest destiny. America, who killed Emmett Till, it's got to be the cheese. America, who crucified Matthew Shepard, it's got to be the cheese. America, who trained and armed the Taliban, it's got to be the cheese. America, who shot JFK, RFK, MLK, it's got to be the cheese. America, internment camps, America, the WWF, Jerry fucking Lewis, America. It isn't funny anymore. America, it isn't funny anymore. The hydrogen bomb, the neutron bomb, engineered death in pantyhose. Mom, the flag, and apple pie. America, it's got to be the cheese.
I've been whisked away by fairy wings and lips that say the very things that lift me from rock bottom. I've got problems that seem to disappear when she comes near. My queen sits on air. I'm a downtime about some clouded minds, cloud nine, polishing unrefined writing styles to make a crown shine. Halos covered by plain clothes, rainbows are now mine. Colorful wording still can get my restrained flows out of a bind. How would we find each other if it wasn't for her love and nothing other than hovering above her own potential? A celestial being swooping down and sitting on my shoulder, whispering sweet somethings in my ear. Her voice is a perfectly constructed wind instrument that brings instant incidents of plucked heartstrings and instinct like it's instinct. Her favorite color isn't pink. It's linked to the things I think are relative to livelihood and growth. From the landlocked ebony rocks to the Ivory Coast, her eyes are the most clear. Substance with substance, even if unrinsed. And if they opened more, I know for sure I could see the ocean floor. I plunge into her head and occupy thoughts till her mind warps. But I'm lost and she knows this, it's hopeless, just fly off. Why, of course. A shooting star maps herself across space, left for me to trace when my mood is dark. I played Connect the Dots with your beauty marks, and I ended up with picture-perfect sheet music. I read your musical notes with the composer's eyes and heard our song for the first time. My spine is still tingling. Mental images of your fine tune is what I've been nodding my head to lately, and every now and then you can catch me humming your nudity under my heavy breath. I heavily suggest you resurrect ancient neglected dust collectors if you distrust the dissonances, seldom plucked heartstrings sit stripped before your full length. Perform your reflection backwards. Maybe then you'll understand the rhythm in my movement. Listen when the news is sent. It's then when the rules are bent. I'll be waiting to take your lead. Make me a victim of your two-step. Make me an apprentice of your body parts. Teach me the dance to your beauty marks. I'm stepping on toes here and I don't care. It's hopeless. It's hopelessness. It's hopelessness holding this openness to blow a kiss. So close your lips, but don't get pissed and throw a fist at this vocalist. I'm not emotionless. In fact, I broke my wrist when I wrote the list of all those I miss. This is my poker face. Dr. Phil, Nathan.
Roller coaster rap. Okay, Keep your arms and legs inside at all time. Fly to the mind and feels divine on my rhyme ride. Hope you're ready to fill it. We're up at the top. Drop and start screaming hands up. It only gets worse. The third verse comes immediately after the curves. It hurts, don't it? Or was it a bear claw that tears your stomach? Is debatable force to stack G's. In fact, please, somebody tell me the reason we purchase surges of adrenaline with our courage. Just hit a bump. More bang for the buck. Roulette for the rush. Gotta do it again to become a lush. All to feel alive. But my nerves, just when I hot naked nerves. The juice and lollipop me into the light first. Shit, I got enough of the shivering spine just for living my life. I don't need to go climb nothing. Jump out of anything or swim with sharks. Cause I'm a Pisces and I see sights. My mind finds it's best to respect the depths and defy vices. I get quite tired of grinding. Don't like what's in the lining. But I do like surviving. And I will toast it that I boast. Hope is back. You can have the caviar. I'm gonna go smoke some crack.
When I read that last really fast rhyming poem to my mom, she looked at me with eyes full of pride. My baby is the next Snoopy dog. And our relationship of late seems full of these comic confusions. This Christmas, which she solemnly observed, my mother asked me to select a carol. And Happy Birthday to Jesus was not well received. It is a lonely life, she said. It is a sad and lonely life you choose. And I had neither the wit nor the courage then to reply, Mother, forget the existentialism, forget the humanism, forget the atheism, and forget the esotericism of philosophers. When I do not celebrate that you've been born again, it is because I was so pleased with you the first time through and found no defect to correct in you. And I have faith. I have faith in us too, and in the things that we have made precious, and in the meaning that we confer to our pursuits. Mother, Aninonando, your family's ancient song, that is how I choose to live. The only song that remains in your father's memory, even as he forgets his sons and daughters. And the song that provided Spanish sounds to your little Puerto Rican raised in Minnesota by a tiny clan of islanders in prairie grass. The song with which I have lullabied my lovers into sleep. Mother, Aninonando is a nonsense string of syllables. It is not a word in Spanish or in Portuguese or Catalan or in the long-dead language of Tainos. It did not exist even in the Allah-praising tongue of Spanish Moors. I have looked. But you know how much it means to us and ours. And I defy you. If you can hear this song sung in a daughter's voice, which is both lower and less sweet than your own, if you can hear it and remain unmoved, then give your sleeping hours up to worried prayer and weep on my behalf. But I believe you cannot help but hear something in this empty word of the hurt and the affection and the restlessness and mother's love that makes it sacred. Aninonando, your family's ancient song. That is how I choose to live. And my belief does not reduce the two of us to walking dolls of ash and dust. Aninonando, 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 Aninonando.
Shelotu Kwesi Shalom Kalmu and Yame Biri Bibo Soro Namamensa
And yame biribi wo soro na mamensa. Shalom. Amen. Salam. Salam. Ashe. I am. An ochre song called you from the corners of post-existence. You appeared a silent apparition of language, and I became pregnant with the word. And the word took flight on crimson oceans of light. Oceans of light screamed prayer into vermilion angles of wrangled space. Angled space sank like an obsidian siren into the mad mouth of my pocket. My pocket dangled a jangling death from the tongue of a stone Victrola. A stone Victrola coughed a murder of crows, shrieking translucent blue music. Blue music circled the bells of my waiting and insistent speech. My speech oracled itself toward the sword of your memory. Your memory cast at the shadow of my castrated breath. My breath, crying the kiss of an ochre song, called you from the corners of post-existence. You appeared, a silent apparition of language, and I became pregnant with the word. And the word was born. The word was born still. The word was still born in the center of turbulent awakening. The word became sunlight, carving her arpeggio into the archipelago of flat unfolding blackness. The word became the shards of stars that bled the egg of plant and planet. The word became the misspelt literature of tree caught in the abysmal ocean of the eye. The word became the constant tongue of demon and deity lamenting the birth of her form. The word became the ancient hymn sang from the azure stone. And I saw the word knocked up. Saw the word knocked up, snorting her death in syllables, drinking her liver in the dilapidated cities of bars with no nuance or name. The word there, her fingers bleeding, blood red and raw, from clawing the insides of 40-ounce coffins, manifest itself as man, riddled 41 times by the mystery of lead, left to die, eyes open, watching while life bled from a hole in the head back to life. I saw the word is a lying howl, the dying child dragged to death, decapitated, sodomized by wood. I saw the word is a man beaten mercilessly because he loved the loins of other men. I saw the word is a brown boy's body resurrected after 3 days from the river bottoms of a nation's bloody conscience. I saw the word woman manifested herself again as woman, thighs riddled slick with the slime of patriarchy. I saw the word was entered by her father so many times she learned to believe his sickness was sacred. And I love the word. And dance with the word. 7 insistent salsas till 6 a.m. with the word. And the word was no longer afraid or ashamed to throw her head back and her arms skyward. And in white flashes of teeth and sweat-drenched hair, mouth incomprehensible mumblings to the rumblings of stereo sound. The word sucked my tongue as I wrote this. The word spit hibiscus balm into my mouth. The word and I loved that night. We loved that night. The word and I came unto, cried and died inside the word that night. And the word grew inside. The word became pregnant with the word. The word gave birth. The word gave birth. The word gave birth to the word, and the word became a brown child's fingers wiping tears away from her father's eyes. The word became a brown child's kisses blooming in spite of the hurricane. The word became a brown child's spirit reaching out to embrace the brown thin wrinkled hands of brown thin wrinkled arms of brown thin wrinkled women who stir pots of 5 a.m. grits in a cornerstone called Mississippi. The word lives inside the universal shit thin spaces between in and exhalation, traverses herself around the azure stone, locked and trapped in condominiums of skin, forgetting and refusing to remember. She is, I am.
Woo!
Thank you.
Case number 87-263. Intensity versus dignity. The dead center of winter. I testify. You and I snuck into the theater on Christopher Street. How stupid were they to give us both our own set of keys after drinking ourselves silly at the back fence? You on cold buffalo winter type libations, all manly and shit, always Rolling Rock / Guinness / JD if you were in a hurry. I don't even remember what I was drinking, but about you, I remember everything. Like the knit cap that said dolomite and was from an actual mine where they actually mined the actual substance dolomite. You were that fucking cool without even trying, and I remember your little round wire glasses and the way your last name was a verb and a noun like mine. And when the bars closed at 4, ready for more, fingers all freezing and stumbly, we'd unlock the theater door, plop down in the lobby so full of 20-year-old balls we didn't even bother to hide from the passersby, light up a bowl, read our favorite Shepherd and Bukowski to each other, proud of the sound of how righteous, passionate, loud our own voices could be. And then when we'd leave, we'd go back to our place in Brooklyn Heights where we were roommates. Always acted like we never expected anything to happen, and then when we'd fuck, you never had your glasses on, and you were blind without them. I used to love staring up into that vacuous cow-eye gaze so oddly placed upon your brilliant face, and then right after you came, while you were still inside me, you'd put your glasses back on, blinking me into focus, and I really fucking liked that. You never said you loved me. God only knows if you ever did. Just another fuck buddy who liked to talk pretty with me. Case number 51-276. Lust versus subversiveness. The dead center of summer. I testify. You and I snuck into the walk-in fridge in the just below Harlem jazz bar we both worked in. It was too damn hot. Everything. Catching your scent when you went past me and I'd be wet in a nanosecond. We couldn't help it. We fucked up against racks of zucchini and cabbages squishing squash. And when my eyes shot open to watch the door, I caught sight of the slaughtered lamb skinned just minutes before by the hateful Haitian chef I loved more than life, like a daddy. Fate had made her my sister by placing her in there, Rachel, Hebrew for Lamb of God, and we were both sacrificed on the altar of desire that night as I took you inside me. And then when the bar closed at 4, we'd have an after-work drink together, always Bacardi, Limon, and Coke, which was another thing you taught me, and we'd squeeze about 10 pieces of lemon into each glass, and you'd talk to me in Spanish, and I'd reply in my fucked up Spanish. And then when we'd leave, we'd turn opposite corners, and I'd take the 9 train all the way home alone. And you said you loved me about 1,000,000 times. God only knows if you ever did. Just another fuck buddy who liked to talk pretty with me. Case number 21-8, you make things so complicated, I'd get so frustrated, all I could do is cry. Case number 13, you'd scream at me to stop psychoanalyzing everything. Number 22-11, you'd leave me hanging. Number 31, you'd let me down. Number 3, you'd stare at me, a crumpled heap on the floor, and be at a loss for how to proceed. It never occurred to you to hold me. I'm running in circles looking for a loophole. I'm trying to be tried for prior uncomprehended crimes and leave with a scot-free rap sheet this time. I want to make your obtuse angle bend into spiritual acuity. Some part of me believes that if I can solve it for you and me, then I break these chains and I walk out of this prison. But I find you infinitely compelling. You emotionally unavailable motherfucking man, your kisses crash instantly into that rift of what no one can give to me. But I can't not want it. And if I could figure out how, I'd end this poem right now.